So I'm having a pretty good day, actually. I woke up, I had a nice shower, I've been cleaning the place, and I started playing Dragon's Champions because I was like, I'm going to casually mess around with the game. And I get in the Jimro chat, and the Jimro chat, for some reason, in this game is just hilarious. I mean, it's basically just like a giant frat in the Jimro chat, and everyone's just shooting stupid jokes. There's only basically one channel for everyone that plays the game. So you have this one world global channel that everyone's just talking about literally anything, and it's a cluster, and I love it. Also, bang! Check this out. So the Valve Index VR kit is now ordered. If you guys didn't know, we've been raising money on the stream. We had a total of $410 come in donations from the last about month and a half, 2 months towards the VR kit. Big shout out to BFP, Big Fat Paulie, who did a big chunk of that, Emo Killers as well. Thank you very much. And the rest was kind of $5 here and there from numerous people. Thanks very much. But we're going to have VR. Okay, so it's coming to the channel as soon as FedEx drops it off at my door. And I'm actually kind of excited about that. I think it's going to be fun because the first thing that I thought is we're going to clickbait the heck out of Raid Shadow Legends in VR. But today is not about that. It's not about the VR. And it's not about Raid Shadow Legends. Today is actually, my friends, about a game called DC Champions. Oh, there it is. You like it? Check out what I built here. I think it's pretty cool. I got myself my nice little sellout stuff at the bottom. I got myself a little theater stuff up here. Round of applause for me. I put some effort into today's video. Also, I did make a guild, so if you want to join, I mean, as soon as I made it, there was already a bunch of people in it. So you have probably seconds at the publishing of this video to get in the guild if you want. It's called the Whale Pod. All of my guilds are called the Whale Pod. It's open. Just join. Yeah, and so this is kind of the Jimro chat that I was talking about. It's basically everybody from Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes all downloaded this game because McMull made the video about it. I made the video about it, and some people downloaded it too. And we're all in here just basically talking about Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. For some reason, that was really funny to me and just kind of cracked me up. But let's talk about the game. Let's talk about why I like the game, what I'm doing in the game, and just some general thoughts, pros and cons, honest stuff. Because, it's not a sponsored video. I can be like, your game's trash if I want to. Wait, is it really? How is it that far off? I actually tried really hard to get this to fit perfect. And now this whole thing, come on. There we go. But now the bottom, oh no. What happened, phone? Come on. It's like you're not paying attention to me. Oh, now it's screwed up again. I had just fixed it, and now here we go again. Oh my lord, there we go. We did it. Okay, so let's talk about the game. Just to cut right through it all. You guys know me. Like I am just let's figure out the game. Let's see if the game's good. Let's see if the game, got something weird going on before I'm going to go into all the details and strategies and, top this, in-depth walkthrough, blah, blah. Let's figure out if the game's good first, okay? So that's what we're going to try to do here together. Now, the easiest way for us to do that is let's just talk about pros and cons, okay? Because that's something that I think I'm getting familiar with at this stage for how long I've been playing it. Now, the pros for me personally have been it's basically what we already are playing. Like it's Star Wars Galaxy Heroes or Marvel Strike Force. It's these type of 330 shards, 7-star character. So, you go in here and you click on your heroes and there's 6 pieces of gear and you click and you add the gear, you craft it, you put it on. When you have 6 pieces, you hit upgrade. You level your characters up with basically training droids. Same thing. There's runes which are the same as mods. Yada yada yada. Set bonuses. Okay. So that's actually a pro for me. Personally, I kind of liked the Star Wars Galaxy Hero style. I was getting a little with it at the end because I felt like they kept milking the characters I had already worked on, right? But the system itself isn't inherently bad. It does give you something to chase, okay? So if that's a pro for you, that you're very familiar with what these style of games have to offer in terms of like infrastructure and the way they're actually set up, that is a pro. Okay, there's not going to be a big learning curve. There's just new characters. And speaking of characters, that's kind of something that for me is probably my largest pro. If you're a pretty big fan of the channel and you watch most of my stuff, you're going to know that I really, really I don't play a game if I don't find it both visually appealing and if I don't like the characters. Like, it can be the best quality of life, non-greedy, best devs of all time, yeah, all this stuff, right? And if I don't like your characters, if I don't like the way they look, and I don't like the way the animations are, and I don't like the way all that stuff is, I'm probably just not going to play your game regardless of how good it is. That being said, I do think their graphics are actually kind of cool. Some of them are funny, some of them are, cute or whatever you have. I kind of like stuff like this where it kind of just looks like maybe an over stylized version of World of Warcraft characters. And that's basically where this game comes down to. I mean, you can say it's heavily inspired or whatever. It's kind of World of Warcraft because you look through the characters and a lot of them are either like races that seem to be something from World of Warcraft or similar art styles or, come on, man. You know what I mean? Like, you look at some of this stuff, it seems very obvious. That being said, they also kind of like the furries, man. They're a little big on the furries, but it's not terrible. I actually do like the art style. So for me, personally, the characters are acceptable. I think they aren't a huge turnoff, and some of them actually look pretty good. I think some of them look kind of dumb, but for the most part, like, look at that. That's actually good. Like, that's actually a good character. I mean, I think that's cool looking. Like, that's better than some of the other stuff I've seen in other games. I mean, yeah, look, they even put a blade on his tail. So, for me, they get a check mark when it comes to heroes, okay? Okay, something else that I like is the event system. So, I'm going to compare it to Star Wars Galaxy Heroes because that's the closest thing to this game that I've seen. And the event system is essentially the same. Now, you may not like that because you're going to think Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes events, I mean, we never had anything to do. The event system isn't what was wrong with Star Wars Galaxy Heroes. What was wrong with the events was that it was always the same ones, and you're either A, just simming it, or B, there's not enough to keep you interested throughout the day. Now, currently there's 5 events or 4 events running, excuse me, and they're for, like character shards. Like, you can just straight up acquire character shards and unlock them, and I've unlocked characters just through these methods. And I think that's kind of cool. I mean, personally, I think that's a pretty cool thing. Now, I don't know if it's like because it's opening week, and there's another pro, actually. It is kind of like, you could say, opening week for this game. They did just start. There was like a soft launch, but they're like officially starting the game, and they're starting to pump out ads and stuff. And so it's kind of getting hyped up a little bit now. McMullen made that video about it, and a lot of Star Wars Galaxy people came. Like I was talking earlier in this video, you see people all over the place in here, okay? They're from Star Wars Galaxy Heroes. They talk about it all the time, and you can see some of the. I saw a guy shout out if he ever sees this video, and look, there's McMullen himself right there. He's talking. There's the boy, right? So that I kind of like that. The community is actually kind of fun. There's only one big chat channel. I don't know. I'm kind of enjoying that aspect of it. I'm going to enjoy having the guild too. Now, let's talk about it's an unfortunate aspect of all games that microtransactions, unless you're free to play. If you're free to play, this part doesn't apply. It doesn't matter. But if you're someone who does like to spend money on video games, I have been known to spend a pretty penny on video games in my lifetime. And if you are that type of person, what you're gonna like is that they're not really ridiculously expensive. Like in this character, I got this character, right? And if I wanted to buy the gear and the potions and like another star rank, essentially, basically like a marquee pack, like the $10 to $30 marquee packs you get in Star Wars Galaxy Heroes, it's like $2. It's not really that bad. The most expensive pack I've seen yet is $8, unless you're just straight up welling on $100 for premium currency. This has been like the most expensive pack I've seen is $8, and it actually comes with a pretty good amount of resources. So for the most part, if I'm being honest, the microtransactions, they're micro. These other games, my name is Darth Microtransaction, but it might as well be Macrotransaction because I'll go thousands of dollars in within just like a month. And I don't really know if that's even possible for me in this, unless I was just really, really trying to rush to in-game for some reason. But you guys know how I am. I don't I don't really care about, I'm not going to do super in-depth this, guides for this and all that stuff until I at least get my hands on the game, play it, acquire a bunch of characters, etc. So you'll probably see some pack openings for me in the future, and you can get an idea on what has value where. Now, the last pro, and then we got to probably talk about cons if we're going to be fair and unbiased, is that the last pro is for me. It's actually good for me. These guys and me are kind of collaborating. It's kind of a weird deal. And if you download the links, through the link, all this sellout garbage I got over here. If you actually download it, it does actually help me out, both financially and channel wise. So I do appreciate that, and that's a pro for me personally. But if you want to support the channel, this is literally a free way to do it. Now let's talk about cons to be fair and unbiased. Now I think we could also say that one con would be something that was also a pro, if I'm going to be fair, which is that it is like Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes and Marvel Strike Force. And for a portion of the audience, they may not want to play the same type of game they have played before, even if you like the style, the graphics, the cheapness, all these things. You just may not be in the mood to play another one of these games. I get it. If that is it, then that's definitely a con for you, and I completely understand that logic, okay? Now, another couple cons that I have seen so far is that it is a smaller game. So what I mean by smaller game is it's developed with a smaller team. I'm not really going to go into details. That's their own private information, but it is a smaller team. It's a smaller company. It's not... Like, for instance, the game Raid Challenges I played, right? The people that own them is literally $1 billion Australian gambling company, right? And they don't like you to say that, but it's the truth. And whereas this game is kind of just like a group of people who made a game, is kind of my impression of it. And they do, they own it. It's a company and everything, but it's an actual small team, and I kind of like, I kind of like that. But it can also be a con, because if you're trying to get mass scale content production, and then again, I could be completely talking out, my butt here, because I don't know dev production. I don't know being a producer. I don't know any of that stuff. Okay, but if I was, I would guess that more people probably makes it easier for the game to develop. But it could be the other way around. I don't know. But that is something to be aware of. It is a smaller game. I know they're pumping a lot to like advertising and stuff right now, so the community has been growing, but it's not Call of Duty Mobile. Like, it's not gonna, if you're the person who has to play like the number 1 or number 2 biggest game, this ain't it. So that's a con. But I kind of like the game. I don't know, I'm in on positive note and say I like the game. I mean, hell, I know it's hard for me to say because I'm biased, because I'm tied to the downloading of the links, but I legitimately kind of like it. I've been playing here and there. Okay, so if you want to play here and there with me, download the thing, play the game, join the guild, hit the boy up. We'll try it. Maybe we'll all quit in a week. I don't know. But it is what it is. So I figure I'd give you guys at least a review, because we've been talking about it a little bit. So thanks for watching the video. I'm actually kind of having fun doing videos again, guys. So I think things are going to be okay. I love y'all, and I'll see you on the live stream.